Having now dropshipped millions of dollars worth of products onto different websites like eBay and Facebook Marketplace, and now that I've taught hundreds of people how to do it as well, I have a pretty good idea of which suppliers are the best ones to use and which ones you should probably avoid. So in this video, I'm going to show you where you can find the best suppliers for your own dropshipping store, even if you're a complete beginner. Now, if you're brand new to dropshipping, I know it can be confusing when you're trying to consider which supplier you should be using for your dropshipping store. After all, there's a lot of things you need to consider, like how quickly the supplier ships the items out, if they offer free returns, if they even allow dropshipping, and of course, if you use them, are you actually going to make any money selling their products? It's a bit overwhelming when you try to consider all of it. So you might be tempted to pay for one of these lists online that promise to give you a whole bunch of great dropshipping suppliers. But in my opinion, that would be a mistake. Oftentimes, the suppliers on these lists really aren't that good, and some of the suppliers aren't even taking on new sellers. Plus, with just a little bit of work on your part, you can find much better suppliers completely for free. And don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Now, if you want to follow along with me as I cover what I look for when I'm looking for a great supplier, I put together this guide that goes along with this video. Inside of it, I tell you not only all the criteria I look for when I'm looking for a great dropshipping supplier, but I also reveal to you exactly which suppliers I use and which ones I recommend for you as a beginner. And unlike the lists I mentioned before, this one is completely for free. All you have to do is click the first link in the description down below, and I'll email you a copy of it. Okay, let me start out by showing you what I think is the easiest way to find good dropshipping suppliers. So if you're looking to dropship from retail websites like Walmart.com, Amazon.com, HomeDepot.com, then I really recommend you use a software to help you do that. This is the one that I use. It's called AutoDS. And it works for selling on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, even Shopify, some other marketplaces as well. So this not only helps me list items into my eBay store and my other stores, but if the price changes on my supplier's website, or if the item goes out of stock, AutoDS will update that in my store for me. I'm not going to spend too much time covering AutoDS today, but I do want to show you one thing in here because it is very relevant and important to what we're talking about. So anytime you want to actually list an item into your store, all you have to do is come over here to AutoDS and click on Add Product and actually paste in the URL for that product. And right here, it shows you all of the suppliers that it works with. And you see that this is quite a long list. So I'll name a few of them off here. We have AliExpress, Home Depot, Sam's Club, Walmart, Wayfair, Amazon, CJ Dropshipping, Costco, Costway, Etsy, Lowe's, eBay, Target. There's a lot here is what I'm trying to say. And what you should realize is that the reason all of these websites work with AutoDS is because some dropshippers out there use these websites, they like these websites, and they made money dropshipping from these websites. So this validates all of these different websites and suppliers for you. You would probably do fine dropshipping really from any of them. But even this list, as we've seen, is quite long and probably overwhelming. So let me help you narrow it down even more to what are my favorite suppliers on this list. And I'll also share with you what I'm looking for in a supplier when I'm dropshipping. So first, when picking a new supplier, the first thing I do is I just go over to their website and check that it's a legitimate looking website and that their website is easy to use. So for instance, let's say we're using Walmart. I come over here to Walmart, I'm looking around, yes, this looks like a legitimate website, it's very easy to use, I can see the items, I can easily add them to my cart, right? Very sort of simple step here. But what you're going to find is that some websites you go to, they're really clunky and very old, and they don't really instill the most confidence for me if I'm going to be using them as part of my business. But Walmart here definitely checks off the boxes. So next thing I like to do is I like to look at the supplier's shipping policy. In other words, how quickly do they ship out their items and how much do they charge for shipping? Walmart, for instance, we know they have really fast shipping. So if I'm looking at the products on this page right here, I can see under a lot of these products, it says shipping, it's available for shipping, and it will arrive in 2 days. Some of these have a couple of more days, about 3 days, but overall, this is really, really good. And I can say, I've been dropshipping with them since 2017, so I know that they are really reliable when it comes to shipping out their products and for dropshipping. Now, as a beginner, you're not going to know that. So that's why it's important to actually come here and look, or go onto different forums, go into different dropshipping Facebook groups and ask people, hey, have you used Walmart? What are they like? Do they ship out their items quickly? And do they have free shipping? What's their free shipping like? But if you're not able to get information from other people, you can often find it right on their website. So right here, we see a lot of these products actually get free shipping. So this one right here says free shipping. This one doesn't say free shipping, but this one right here does say free shipping. So there's enough products here that do get free shipping. Generally speaking, I suggest that when you're using a supplier, that you stick to items that do get you free shipping so you can keep your prices more competitive. Plus, usually items with free shipping are more expensive, or at least over a certain dollar amount, like usually on Walmart it's $35, which usually means that you're going to make more profit per order than if you were selling really cheap items. So it's like a double win for you. The most important thing here is consistently. It gets really confusing when a supplier says they charge $4.99 to ship to certain states, but an extra $2 for other states, or it costs like $4.99 a pound up to like 10 pounds, and then it's like $3 a pound. You don't want that. You want a uniform, simple shipping policy. And luckily, most retailers will have that. Now, what that doesn't mean, I'm not talking about like it has to have the same shipping cost for every single item. As we saw here, some of these items get free shipping and others don't. All that matters is that that shipping price for that individual item is not going to change based on where it's shipping to, as long as the only place you're shipping to is the lower 48 states. The next thing I always look for in a supplier is good customer service. Quite honestly, as dropshippers, we are essentially just middlemen, which means that if a customer has an issue with an order, it's really up to us to actually contact the supplier and work it out for them. That is much easier to do when the supplier has good customer service themselves. So check and see if the supplier has an easy way to contact them, check what their return policy is, and just generally try to get an idea of how easy or hard it's going to be to work with them. So back here on AutoDS, if we look at the list of all the different suppliers, I'll give you some of my feedback on them. So a lot of these suppliers like Home Depot, Sam's Club, Walmart, Wayfair, Amazon, they all have incredible customer service. You're not going to have any issues with them. Costco's great, Overstock's great, Etsy is great. We have Target, which is great. We have, what else in here? Macy's, Kohl's. All of these have excellent, excellent customer service. But what you're also going to see on this list are some other suppliers like Banggood, for instance, and AliExpress. Now, these suppliers, if you use them, you would actually be dropshipping from China. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, you have to find the suppliers that work with the type of dropshipping you want to do. All of the suppliers I showed you already, they are based here in the United States. So if you dropship from them, your customers, they're going to get their items quickly, and they're going to get good quality items for the most part. Generally, most customers are going to be really happy with that. However, when you dropship from China, like with AliExpress, even though the shipping times will be much longer, the benefit of them is that the items can be much cheaper. And that usually means more profit for you. But it's really up to you what type of dropshipping you want to do. You just have to make this decision for yourself. If you're confused and overwhelmed by all of this, just remember this. If a supplier works with AutoDS, then there is some dropshipper out there that made enough money using that supplier that they got AutoDS to actually add it into their system. So somehow, all of these suppliers work. It's just up to you to actually try it and to go for it and to find a way to make it work with each supplier. So far, we've looked at some suppliers you can use if you want to dropship from retail stores. But you can also dropship using wholesale suppliers. This is a little trickier, but it can be very worth it. You see, when you use retail stores to dropship, it's definitely going to be a lot easier to get started because these integrate and work directly with AutoDS. It's very easy to set up accounts with them. It's very straightforward. But that's not the case with Wholesale. With Wholesale, you're first going to have to find some good wholesale suppliers, and then you need to get them to agree to actually drop ship for you. It's a lot of work up front, but the benefit is that you're going to be paying less for your products with wholesale drop shipping, and there's usually less competition, so there's really potential to make a lot of money with it. The real tricky part of this is finding some good suppliers, and an okay place to start doing that is using a website called Inventory Source. Now, Inventory Source, it's kind of like AutoDS, which I showed you before. But honestly, comparing it to AutoDS isn't really that fair because I really haven't found Inventory Source to work all that well, and it's really expensive to use. So I wouldn't actually use the software part of Inventory Source, but you can actually create an account for free on here and look at all of the wholesale suppliers that it works with. So inside of here, once you create an account, you can click on the left where it says Supplier Directory. Here we have all of the different suppliers. And what you can do is when it says supplier type, under where it says allow dropshipping, you want to select yes. So this is only going to show you suppliers that actually allow dropshipping. And as you see, there are over 2,000 of them in here. So you can start to go through and start to contact these suppliers and see if they're going to be a good fit for you. But just because they're on this list doesn't mean they are good when it comes to drop shipping. So we have to sort through these and we have to find the ones that are actually going to do a good job for us. Now for wholesale, I'm looking for suppliers with fast shipping, good customer service, ideally free or cheap returns, and I want the shipping costs, I want them to be very easy to estimate. You're often going to run into suppliers here with very confusing policies about shipping. That makes it really difficult for us just to have one shipping setting on eBay. So I tend to avoid those suppliers entirely. You're also going to find suppliers that aren't going to accept any returns at all, and that doesn't work for us either. We need to be able to return our items. So let me show you at least one supplier here that I've used before, and I'll show you what I like about them and what I don't like about them. All right, this is a supplier right here. It's called CWR Distribution. They generally sell a lot of sporting goods equipment, a lot of outdoor stuff, a lot of fishing and sort of boating, marine equipment. And there are things that I really like about them. So right here on their website, I'll first say that I just like that their website looks very professional. It's very easy to navigate as well. And they have an entire page here that's actually designed to tell us about them if we want to become a dealer for them. And here on the left, it gives us some really important bullet points. It says they have over 300 brands, no minimum order. So that's really important because some suppliers will make you at least order a certain amount, which doesn't really work for us as dropshippers. Really important here, flat rate shipping as low as $9.95. Flat rate shipping, key words there, because that means it's not going to change the shipping based on different states. It's a very easy to follow shipping policy, which we like quite a bit. We can also see that if you come down here, they have a section here with their FAQ. So if we go over there, they say, hey, is there a fee here to be a reseller for them? No, there's not a fee. Oftentimes, you're going to find that some of these dropshipping suppliers will charge a fee to get set up with them. That's not inherently a bad thing. If it's a low fee, that's okay because a lot of times it does take a person doing work to actually set up an account for you. So a small fee I'm okay with. But some of them will charge you quite a bit of money before you can even see their products. And then you go in and their products aren't even that good. But here, with the integration with Inventory Source, we can actually see all the products ourselves before we even set up an account with them. And you see that there are over 47,000 products. So I love that because that means we would have quite a diversity of products in here. And it's not like some suppliers that only have like a couple thousand products. I like ones the more the better with these different suppliers. Some other things you want to look out for is one, make sure they even allow you to sell on the marketplace you want to sell on. So here CWR in their FAQ says, hey, there's no limitations if you want to sell on eBay or Amazon. But what you also want to look out for are any type of dropshipping fees. Again, it's not inherently a bad thing as long as the fee is not astronomical. Now CWR, they do not charge a fee to ship to different addresses. That's included in the price of the item on their website. But some suppliers are going to charge you maybe $5, $10 to drop ship. You can just add that into the cost of the item as long as it helps, as long as you remain competitive after that. If they start charging you like $25 to drop ship, that's not cool. We don't want to see that. We also have some information here about their returns as well. And I like their return policy. I think it's fair, 30-day return policy, but they do sometimes charge a 15% restocking fee. That's unavoidable because that's just a cost that they're going to eat. So they do have to pass that along. So that's just kind of the cost of doing business sometimes. So it is going to take you some time to go through all of these different suppliers, to go to their website, see if they're a good fit, maybe contact them if you're not able to get the information off their website. But the good news is that you really only need to find one good supplier and you're set for a while. I've seen many successful wholesale dropshippers who only really have one good supplier. Now, like I mentioned before, if you want my free dropshipping guide that goes over the top dropshipping suppliers, some suppliers I didn't get to cover in this video as well, make sure to download it. It's at the first link in the description down below, and then I'll email you a copy of it. And also, I talked a little bit before about AutoDS, which is one of the tools I use to run my dropshipping store. But if you want to see all of the software I use for dropshipping, then check out this video right here, and I'll see you there in just 1 second.